Words matter. We choose our words each time we speak, and our choice of words is important. With words, we can make people feel understood and accurately represented, or we can hurt them, even if we don't intend to. Certain phrases hurt people more than others. And if we change our language, even just a little, we can make people living with mental illness feel less isolated and stereotyped. We can start by cutting some words out of our everyday language where they don't belong. If a teacher assigns a lot of homework or a referee makes a bad call, instead of calling them crazy, retarded, maniacs, or lunatics, try using words like annoying, frustrating, or irritating. By calling someone we don't like crazy, we are furthering the idea that mental illness is bad, and that it is something people can control. If someone is angry, we should just call them angry, not psychotic. It might be hard to make these changes, and we all slip up sometimes and say those words. Nobody is perfect, but if we are more conscious of the negative connotations that these words have, we can avoid them whenever possible. When we were talking about someone with a mental illness, we should try to acknowledge that they are a person first, and avoid referring to them by their illness. Instead of calling someone bipolar or depressive, try a person with depression, or a person living with bipolar disorder. Up to 90% of mental illnesses are treatable, so even if a person lives with an illness like depression now, they will not necessarily suffer forever and may be in recovery. Also, be careful not to try to diagnose someone based on their behavior. If someone is unhappy, don't say that they are depressed. Unless you're a clinician, your job isn't to diagnose. It's to be supportive, loving, and compassionate towards others. Additionally, phrases like commit suicide also assign blame, and resemble phrases we use for criminals or adulterers, like commit grand theft auto and commit adultery. Instead, we should replace this with a phrase like complete suicide, which instead addresses an action that took place without assigning blame. Also, referring to a suicide attempt as unsuccessful conveys the idea that the person failed, and these feelings of failure might prompt another attempt. At the same time, completed suicide should not be referred to as successful, as loss of life due to a treatable illness is not something to be celebrated. If everyone were to make these small changes, people might feel more confident and seek help and ultimately receive treatment, and they would feel less isolated because of the illness they live with. Stigma is the #1 reason youth don't seek treatment for mental illness. How are you going to use language to destigmatize mental illness in the future? Give us your ideas by commenting below.